Data collected in service delivery can be of great utility. Once analyzed, it can inform programming and improve services and the overall response. However, historically, there have been several obstacles preventing effective data use. Chief among them was the lack of a process for classifying acts of gender-based violence. Without this classification, data cannot be accurately compiled, compared, or utilized for analysis, and service providers have to rely on subjective decision-making. So, how could a uniform service-based incident classification system work? We asked the same question more than 10 years ago, and this is what we found. Most importantly, a classification system for the purpose of data analysis cannot be subjective. Otherwise, all analysis stemming from it will be individual, unique, biased, and make comparison impossible. Plus, data documented subjectively makes it an easy target for criticism and makes the sharing of the data less valuable. So, how do you surpass that obstacle? Well, we found that you need two elements to make it work. First, you need a uniform set of terminology and definitions. And second, you need a consistent process to classify or assign a type of violence. But that's not all. You need to ensure the types of violence are universally recognized forms of GBV. And you need to ensure the types of violence are focused on the specific act of violence that occurred, not the motivation behind it, the context, or the type of perpetrator. And finally, you need to ensure all types of violence are mutually exclusive, so there's no overlap. Once we had that criteria, and following extensive research and consultation, a decision algorithm, or a process of elimination, was determined to be the best way to achieve this. That means, based on what the survivor recounts, service providers can make successive decisions about the nature of an incident and therefore classify it. For example, these process of elimination questions could include, did the incident involve penetration? Coupled with predetermined sets of terms and definitions, this brings objectivity to the assignment of incident types. To be sure, some will look to local law for classification. However, this has significant shortcomings. Legal terminology is restricting in comparability, and laws may not capture all forms of GBV. It's important to remember a classification system doesn't have to, nor should it operate in a vacuum. Other data points collected in the process of service provision can also and should be utilized. For example, most stakeholders routinely collect information on the relationship of the perpetrator to the survivor, which means even if domestic violence isn't a violence type, it can still be captured from other data points in a systematic way. This allows the capture of contextual information that's crucial for having the right interpretation of data. With their criteria mentioned earlier and a process for assigning types of violence, this is how we arrived at the GBV IMS classification tool. It has over a decade of use by practitioners and researchers in over 35 countries in diverse contexts, and therefore provides a simple, proven, field-tested option. To learn more, visit the GBV IMS website.